All right, so I'm going to do a couple of the distribution problems with y'all because I understand those might be a little more difficult. Like I said in the Google Classroom post, you don't have to worry about 15 through 18. Those are double distribution. You'll do a lot of that next year when you get to geometry. And if I were teaching you in class, we would probably do it, but over the internet, it's a little bit harder. So let's just get these baby distribution ones out of the way. Let's do number 11 from the notes. So this is just like distribution that you're used to doing. It's just got radicals with it. So this radical 15 out here is going to be given here, and it's going to be given here. Okay, so I go back to my rules of regular multiplying. 1 times 2, because 2 isn't a radical, it's a coefficient. Technically it's a constant, but it doesn't have a radical with it. So 1 times 2 is going to give me 2. There's no radical to multiply with this, so it's just going to be 2 radical 15. All right, plus, I've got to bring down my plus sign just like I normally would with distribution. 1 times, there's really a 1 right there, so I can write my 1, I don't have to. And then radical 15 times radical 5. All right, so I do 15 times 5, which is going to give me 75. So this is what I have right here. Now, back to our rules of adding and all that. I know I can't add these the way they are, but what I need to do first is see. Radical 15 is not going to break down. The only things that go into 15 are 5 and 3. There's no perfect square that goes in here, but there is a perfect square that goes into 75. All right, so that breaks down into 25 times 3. Okay, so what I'm going to have is 2 radical 15 plus radical 25 is going to come out of the house, out of the radicand as a 5. 1 times 5 is 5, and radical 3 is going to be left. Now let's see if we can add them. All right, can I add a radical 15 and a radical 3? No, I cannot. So that's my final answer. All right, I know these are a little bit trickier. Let's do number 13 because it's got quite a few steps to it. So we're going to distribute here and here. So negative 2 times 3 is going to give me a negative 6. Radical 3 times radical 10 is going to give me radical 30. Easy enough so far, right? Negative 2 times negative 3 is going to give me a positive 6, so that sign's going to change. We struggle with that with regular distribution. Got to be careful with it here. It's ugly plus sign. All right, radical 3 times radical 6 is radical 18. All right, so let's look. Can we simplify any of this? If I think of 30, think of all the perfect squares that could possibly go into it. 4, nope. 9, nope. 16, nope. 25, nope. So this cannot be simplified, all right? It stays. But 18, I know that it can, all right, because 18 is the same thing as 9 and 2, and 9 is a perfect square. So if I take this radical 9, what's going to come out of the house? Radical 9 is 3, all right? So I'm going to have for my final answer negative 6 radical 30 plus the 6 times 3 that came out from here, and the radical 2 stays inside. And there's nothing else I can do to simplify that. I hope that helps you with some of the distribution ones.